I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know I'm lying.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Thanks for tuning into your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk, and we're back for another YouTube video banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I know what time it is. A doctor's in the house. Now, check this out. Today, we got some news coming from one of my favorite fighters, my top 3 favorite fighters right now. You know, number 1 is Cinnamon for me. You know, number 2 is Gervonta Tank Davis, and number 3 is Big Junto Nakatani. You know what I'm talking about? And we got some big news, braggadocious news coming from Junto Nakatani's camp, Team Nakatani, specifically his head coach, his head trainer, you know, Rudy Hernandez, man. Rudy Hernandez has been in the news lately, calling out everybody. Junto Nakatani wants all the smoke, not just with the people in his division, but also the pound for pound phenom Naoya Inoue, you know, in a division above. Bam Rodriguez, you know, who's a pound for pound fighter according to a lot of people, you know, that's the division below. And now he's saying that he also wants to fight Rafael Espinoza, El Divino, who's 2 divisions above. Yeah, I think he's a little drunk. He's been slipping a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I like Junto Nakatani, but I approach boxing analysis with objectivity. That's why y'all rock with me, right? And I'm going to keep it here, you know? I think that whenever you're fighting a guy that's multiple divisions above you, even 1 division above you, I think that it's a little... Nothing wrong with being ambitious. It's definitely ambitious, but it's a little unnecessary to call out these guys, especially when they're 2 divisions above you. You know what I'm saying? And to compound the issue, Junto Nakatani, like I said, I think he's the best at bantamweight 118, but he also has 3 other champions that would think otherwise. You know what I'm saying? He's the WBC champion, Junto Nakatani, who's undefeated. Shout out to him. But that his countryman, a fellow Japanese champion, Seiya Susumi, who's a WBA title holder, he's undefeated as well. Now, he's a champion in recess because he suffered an injury, but he's still the champion in my eyes, you know. But shout out to Antonio Vargas. He's been elevated since then, right? And then you have the IBF champion, Ryosuke Nishida, coincidentally, he's his countryman as well. He's undefeated. And then you have Yoshiki Takei, we just saw beat, man, what's my guy's name, man? Man, I can't remember his name right now, but the fighter from Thailand, you know, and he beat him in quick fashion, man. Shame on me for forgetting his name right now. Y'all forgive me. But yeah, he definitely beat him, and he did a great job. And he's undefeated, right? Coming from Muay Thai. So you have other fighters in those divisions that will challenge him for that. Yeah. So yeah, I just think that, you know, it's hard to convince me, even though I like you, that you're able to go and fight other people that aren't in your division when you're not even the definitive best of your division. You know what I'm saying? Yudapong Tang Di. That's the guy that Yoshiki Takei made quick work out of. You know what I'm saying? Yudapong Tang Di. My bad. I knew it was going to come back to me because we were up and we provided live boxing commentary because we really watch boxing around here. You know what I'm saying? We provided live boxing commentary for that. And shout out to those that joined me on that yesterday early in the morning while you're yawning. You know what I'm saying? So while I do think Junto Nakatani beats Yoshiki Takei, Seiya Susumi, or Antonio Vargas for the WBA title, and Ryosuke Nishida, I think that there's a step to the process that needs to be respected. You know what I'm saying? So when he fights Ryosuke Nishida, which happens in a couple of weeks in that unification, of course, in that WBC IBF unification, I have Junto Nakatani winning. But they don't fight in our heads. They fight in the ring. So we got to respect the process. Now, we'll say this, though, you know, similarly to Canelo versus Bud, I think Bud is number 1 pound for pound right now. You know what I'm saying? Between him, Alexander Usyk and Naoya Inoue, those are 1, 2, 3, they're interchangeable, right? As great as Crawford is, I have Canelo because I respect weight classes. You know what I'm saying? They're both great fighters, Cinnamon and Bud, but I just think that the weight differential is going to be the deciding factor, in my personal opinion. I can be wrong, you know, maybe I'll be wrong, you know, that's why we watch. But I have Canelo because I respect weight classes. That's a 2 weight class jump from his last fight at 154, right? So similarly here with Junto Nakatani talking about fighting Rafael Espinoza, I think it's a good fight, but I haven't even seen him be the best at 118 definitively yet. I haven't seen him fight at 122 yet, and I definitely haven't seen him at 126. So my point is that, you know, maybe I'm a traditionalist in that regard, but I respect weight divisions. I think they have it for a reason. Now, the shining light, the silver lining for Junto Nakatani is that he is at smaller weights, and we know that the weight disparity is much less than what it is at larger weights, you know. So it's easier to move up in weight divisions at smaller weight classes than it is at larger weight classes due to the smaller weight disparity, right? So he does have that in his favor, but still, you know, I would love for I think Junto Nakatani beats Bam Rodriguez, and Rudy Hernandez said that he beats Bam Rodriguez in between 6 to 8 rounds. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I do think that Junto Nakatani beats Bam Rodriguez. I also think that Junto Nakatani beats the monster, Naoya Inoue. I think that Junto Nakatani will be the monster slayer that night, but that is at 122. You know, I think, of course, it's more realistic that he beats Bam Rodriguez because that's going down, you know what I'm saying? That's a weight class below, a weight class he's already been to, so we know how he'll perform. But we don't know how he'll perform at 122, and we damn sure don't know how he'll perform at 126. You know what I'm saying? Those are the big dogs, you know, with Rafael Espinoza. And I particularly believe that El Divino is the best featherweight, you know what I'm saying, currently right now, you know. But, you know, once again, we have to see it because we want to see Nick Ball, Rafael Espinoza, Stephen Fulton, and Angelo Leo all mix it up. Granted, Stephen Fulton, the WBC champion, he already beat Angelo Leo, the IBF champion, but that was at 122, not 126. So I want to see all these champions mix it up, you know what I'm saying, in their own division first before we talk about these jumps in weight classes that having these fighters take on champions from other divisions. So I just think there's a process to it. So right now, if I had to pick between El Divino and Nakatani, I would have Espinoza winning. You know, I have Espinoza winning because I just don't know how Junto Nakatani, how his power is going to translate, how he's going to handle the weight difference. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, it's a small weight differential, but I still have to know these things. You know, I would like to see it first. So him versus Naoya, first he has to handle business against Ryosuke Nishida. You know, good Lord willing, which I do think he'll win. Then we'll see if that him and well, actually, because Naoya Inoue has plans to fight MJ Akhmadaliev and then Nick Ball. You know, that's what the plans are right now, tentatively. So then we could expect Nakatani to, if he beats Ryosuke Nishida, get another fight in the interim. And I'm hoping that it's another champion, maybe Yoshiki Takei or maybe Seiya Susumi or Antonio Vargas, you know what I'm saying? Depends on that. And then maybe we could talk about fighting Naoya Inoue. And then after that, we could talk about going to featherweight. But if he wants to make the featherweight jump and beat Espinoza, that'd be a hell of a statement, you know, because Naoya Inoue would definitely have to fight him then, you know. But like I said, right now I would have Espinoza beating Nakatani. But hey, one thing I do respect is their confidence, man. So shout out to Rudy Hernandez. But I would say, please don't be overlooking Ryosuke Nishida because he is an undefeated champion in the IBF division and he needs to be respected. And I'm not saying they're not respecting him, but sometimes when you overlook and talk about Bam Rodriguez, who's at 115, a weight class below, Naoya Inoue, who's a weight class above, and Rafael Espinoza, 2 weight classes above, it kind of gives the energy that you're looking over or looking past Ryosuke Nishida, and I think that'd be a big mistake. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. Don't forget to smack that like button. That's all I have for you today. And yes, sir, man, y'all take care. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.